How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to D Herd. My name is Dakota, and today I want to take a couple minutes to talk to you about The Walking Dead. I want to talk to you about why I started watching this show and why I've still continued to watch the show over 100 episodes later. Stick around. Now, when you first start watching a new show or a new series, or when you first start watching a movie, there's usually one specific point that makes you go, hey, I'm going to stick around, I'm going to finish this, I'm going to see what happens, I want to see this resolve. And for me, when it came to The Walking Dead, that came before the first episode. How was that possible? Well, The Walking Dead released a pilot episode, and in that pilot is where I began to fall in love with this show. Not because of the story per se, but it was because of the directing, the acting, just how everything was pieced together. It was done beautifully, in my opinion. It really just caught my attention straight off the bat. We start off with long shots. If you guys don't know this by now, I am a sucker for long shots. It's incredible what emotions can be brought out just by holding a shot for a little while, seeing what somebody does, seeing the reaction and the movement, everything all in one shot. There's something beautiful about that, and you get to see that right off the bat in this pilot. You get to see Rick driving up the street. Mind you, it's dead silent throughout most of this entire pilot. It's almost completely silent, and I love the fact that they did this. It really caught my attention. In this kind of a world, it would be eerily silent, and that's even scarier than like scary music or hearing the sounds of the walkers moaning. Complete silence, the way how they did it, really works for me. In fact, throughout the entire scene, the only thing that was said was by Rick. He sees what he thinks is a little girl that looks dirty, that looks maybe injured, tired. She's kind of shrugging around, she's kind of dragging her feet, and the only thing that Rick can say to her was, "Little girl, I'm a policeman. Little girl, don't be afraid, okay? Little girl." The only reason why he's there is to get gasoline for his vehicle, and he still tries to help this little girl. Although it turns out that she can't really be helped at this point. She turns around and there's a big gash in her face. Her whole lip into her cheek is pulled back. She's clearly a walker. She turns around, slowly starts walking towards Rick. He slowly starts backing up. The faster she gets, the more anxious he's getting, the more nervous he's getting, and eventually he has to put her out of her misery. That was the first walker kill that we got to see of the series, and they killed off a child. It's pretty ballsy. This world is very unforgiving, and I love that. No one's gonna be saved just because they're a favorite character, and we even get to see that later on in the show. People who we thought were gonna stick around forever ended up dying. And the people that we loved, it's almost as if the more we loved a character, the more brutal their death was. Another huge reason why this pilot drew me in and got me engaged with this story is the fact that our main protagonist, Rick Grimes, he's a family man. I mean, yes, he's a policeman, he's got more authority in the real world or whatever, great. But when it comes down to it, he's nothing more than a husband and a father. At the time, I was a husband, and I am a father. I really did connect with Rick on that level. And even the creator, Robert Kirkman, has said this before, but when it came to movies, zombie movies in particular, they just get to a certain point and then stop. They get, quoting Robert Kirkman here, they just hop onto a helicopter, or they leave the town, or they just do something, and that's it. You don't see what happens after. These characters are in this world. What happens after they get on the helicopter? What happens after do they fall in love? Do they cut themselves off from the rest of the world? What exactly happens? And The Walking Dead does this really well. We get to see what happened. Now, a movie would stop here. They would let you know, hey, the protagonist is in a shitty spot. Maybe the protagonist dies. That's it. That's the end of the story. Well, in this case, we get to see what happens after the fact. No, our protagonists don't die. Some of our protagonists become the antagonist. You know, it's really interesting to see how these characters develop over time. It's not just over a period of, one movie that you can do this. Humans are constantly changing, and The Walking Dead really does showcase this. Every season, it seems like every character goes through a different personality, if that makes sense. It's crazy to see what these characters have went through. And in The Walking Dead Season 1, you really got to see the beginning of that. You really got to see the people come together as friends and then start butting heads. It was really difficult, and it was like, I don't know, it just added so much more drama than any other drama show on. But it was realistic drama. It was everyday drama that was just heightened and amplified because we're in a world with no rules anymore. Usually the first walkers or zombies, the first being of undead that we see in any movie usually is scary. It jumps out at you. It's, oh my god, the world's turning, it's going to shit. Not in The Walking Dead. The first couple of walkers that we actually see, it's very, very sad. You can almost see that person in there still. It goes past just good makeup. It goes past just good special effects and visual effects, which is another reason why I love this show. But that's how it really got me into watching the show. That's something I learned to love over the course of the show, after I got to see what these people are capable of in terms of special and visual effects. Like the bicycle girl, it was a very, very sad walker, and Rick even went out of his way to go and mercy kill this walker, saying, "I'm sorry this happened to you." That's a very emotional scene. Rick doesn't know who this person is. Later on in season 1, we do end up seeing, unfortunately, the first of our group to get bit and then turn. And even this wasn't scary. I mean, we knew what the outcome was gonna be. Andrea's baby sister, Amy, when she got bit and she turned, it was a very beautiful scene. To contrast with this monster that she's become, it was a very beautiful scene. It was the first time that we got to see Andrea really open up and show her emotions. That's another thing that really got me into this show. The fact that these people aren't heartless creatures right off the bat. It's not what would really happen. Not for the majority of the population anyways. This would probably happen. You get very, very emotional. We are now over 100 episodes in, and people are still very emotional, and it's come a very long way. Just seeing that in the first season, though, was just gripping. And something else that I loved about this pilot episode and the first season, pay extra close attention to the camera work, to the lighting, to the acting, and to the sound. And I love the fact that they did this. It sounds legit. It looks legit. I mean, I've never really been in a zombie apocalypse, but it seems real to me. It doesn't seem fake. I mean, I know it's fake, but it doesn't seem fake. I believe that these characters are in a world that they can't escape the dead. And I love that because they focused on all these things. They just added a whole bunch of layers to this season to really get that depth of not only the story, but of these characters. And I love that. That really drew me in. There was very, very few things that I did not like about this season. And there was nothing I didn't like about the pilot. So yeah, guys, those were the reasons that I still watch The Walking Dead today. And those were the main reasons, if not the only reasons, why I started watching The Walking Dead in the first place. Before 2010, I never would have thought that there would have been a zombie TV show out there. But as soon as I heard that there was going to be one, I had to check it out. And after I did, I never looked back. I hit the ground running. I became a super fan. I mean, granted, it did take until about the third season for me to realize that, you know, hey, the show came from a comic. And I started reading the comics more, but as a show, it was so good. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and since you guys are still here, I just want to take this opportunity and ask you, what got you into The Walking Dead? Why did you start watching, and why are you still watching now? Let me know in the comment section below, and while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe, tap that little bell icon to get all my future notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next Walking Dead video. Take care.